Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So Pisces, it's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you. It's actually the spirit of Valentine's is really kind of interesting because it is named after Saint, I can't remember his first name, Augustine, no, that might be wrong, but Saint something or other Valentine. And it was something about, he was quietly and covertly marrying people so that the men didn't have to go out to war. I don't remember what emperor it was. It was like a long time ago. Like I think we're talking about like 27 AD or something. So it's sort of like just the spirit of that. I guess is kind of nice to think that, you know, to bring people together is what we can do to prevent war. Isn't that beautiful? So Pisces, on that note, I'm going to find out what the hell you're hiding. So I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I'm going to find out what you're hiding. I know it's bad. It sounds bad, but it's not, because like if it's anything like the Aquarius reading, it was quite profound and it really just kind of makes you look at yourself and go, huh, it's interesting. So I'm going to use, look at see. Maybe you're like a slave to something around you and you just need to admit it and free yourself from something, right? So I'm going to use the archetype deck. Secrets, you're secretly a slave, or you want someone to be your love slave. Maybe it's Valentine's Day. I'm going to use the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and then, you know, the only tarot deck I have is a teeny tiny one, Everyday Witch. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out what you're hiding. What are you hiding? What are you hiding behind? It could be a persona, but you're hiding something. I'm going to dig into it. It's a general reading, and because it's general, it may or may not resonate. If it does and you're drawn to it, there is an extended. The link to that is at the top of the description within this video. That shuffles better. I get the other way. Okay, Pisces, my Pisces friends. Let's see what we got going on here for you. All right, what do we got here? Well, no, this is beautiful because the first card is kind of like, well, this is really who you are. It's what people see. It's all nice. So poet expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Oh, that's very Pisces. My Pisces friend is a writer and she just writes beautiful stories. She's so eloquent with her written word. It's quite beautiful. So I don't know, like, and poet, that's just sort of romantic energy. And romantic is not just romance between two people. Like, we often forget that romantic is like a feeling. It's an idea. It's expressing your fantasies, your hopes, your dreams. So, I mean, that's really who you are. You're a poet at heart. It's kind of beautiful. What the hell are you hiding? What is going on? This is so crazy. We are pulling out some deep shit this week with these readings. This is the same card that Aquarius got. You guys saw me shuffle. I pre-shuffled and then I shuffled on camera for you. The Addict card. Some kind of addiction here. You are the addict. Well, you are the addiction. You are the addiction. Well, that's interesting. You are the addiction. So you're hiding behind that. Is someone addicted to you? That's really weird. I'm going to leave that where it is. And I'm going to do that for two reasons. Because that's like a channeled message coming in. So I want to see how it develops on its own. And two, it really turned into something quite different when we pulled all the other cards out for Aquarius and what this addiction was. Okay, so why are you hiding yourself? You're a mystic. You revel in the intimate union with the divine. And that's probably where you get your poetry, honey. So, yeah, that's why. What are you hiding behind? Some sort of addiction. I feel like there's a lot that people can see about you, but there's something specific here that I'm going with the shadow part here. Compromises integrity and honesty. allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And there's so much inner spirit, Pisces. Oh my gosh, there's so much inner spirit. It's beautiful. It's divine. But maybe you're not showing it much. Let's see. Okay, so all this stuff, particularly like what you're hiding, how does that affect the relationships you have with people? You have teacher, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Jeez. This is funny. Okay, so I'm only laughing because with the teacher card, sometimes I go to my son's school to lunch monitor. And I do like an hour and a half there. And sometimes when I leave, I really feel like I need to go home and eat a whole box of chocolates and drink a bottle of vodka. And I walk out of that building sometimes and I think, I don't know how they do it all day. They do it all day. And because I think I would be a chocolate alcoholic if I did. And it's just so funny because you have that. So I want to say that there might be something about your work or some people that you deal with that are challenging. And maybe you have a crutch. You have a bit of a crutch. That's kind of how Aquarius started out, but then it got much deeper, more philosophical. So bear with me if you're like, Cindy, I don't have any problems with drinking or chocolate. Okay. Advice for you. Exorcist. Get those demons out of you. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. The shadow is fear of facing your own demons. Now, let's be honest. Okay, because a substance outside of yourself. Sorry, I guess that's Lily. A substance that you would use that's like something outside of yourself. So, because you can have addictive thought patterns, that's kind of internal. But I'm thinking like an outside source. So it could be chocolate, food, alcohol, drugs. There's so many different things that could be. Porn. There's a lot of stuff that could be that's outside of you. But just not really facing some sort of inner demon within you. Right? It just feels like that there's something inside that you're not addressing, or you don't feel like you have the energy to look at, or the time, or the will right now. But your advice is to look at something here and free yourself of that shit. Outcome if you follow the advice. You become the avenger. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Now, I'm going to read the shadow here because if the advice, you don't face your own demons, the outcome, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Well, shit, I don't know what that is. You be gentle with yourself and others. Yes, people often do strike out when they don't look inside for their answers. That's the thing too. Oh, you have judge at the bottom and damsel. Balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Damsel, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. There might be too much self-reliance. Because I feel like you're I don't know, I feel like there's, well, with this, something inside you, you're internalizing some things too much. All right, let's keep looking at it. I'm pulling everybody out of their addictions this week, apparently. Calling y'all out on it. Oh my God. I think the human spirit is naturally conducive to addiction. I think some more than others, some people more than others. Actually, to be honest, I think Pisces in the 12th house, that has to do with addictions. Yes, the undoing of oneself, right? That really is kind of strong in this reading. What is interesting, though, too, is that this person, though, is holding back a wave of emotions. This person is holding back their feelings. Their feelings look bigger than them, though. see what we have here. All right, who you really are, you are a beautiful, isolated poet. You're a beautiful, isolated poet. You know what? Because this isolation card too talks about, well, you're isolated is your own doing. You've done this to yourself. It does speak of that in this card, on this deck. So expresses the insights in symbolic language. It is almost like the artist, the poet that suffers, and because they suffer, they create. Feels a bit like that. Okay, so that's who you really are. You suffer, you isolate, you create, you find beauty in the wonder of life. The symbolism in it all. All right, let's look at this addiction. Riches. You're addicted to your wealth. Riches. This is Saturn in Capricorn. You're addicted to your restrictions. Let's just stop right here. I didn't think I was going to pull the book out this week, but I'm going to pull the book out on that one. Addicted. Well, let's see this. Okay, Saturn in Capricorn. This addiction. Where'd it go? You know what? Let's get the eyes on here. All right. Okay, the events this could be about the stock market, dealings with government organizations, involvement in politics, receiving an honor of some kind. When the riches card appears in a reading, it usually points towards the successful conclusion of financial arrangement or deal. It feels like you're addicted to something that you get monetarily. And, okay, it's something you get in the physical. It could be something that makes you feel wealthy, but yet it does feel like this person is holding their emotions back. It would be very interesting. You're hiding some shit, Pisces. You're doing a better job than Aquarius did. That is for sure. I'll find it. I'll find it. And I'm only trying to find it because it helps you. I feel like it's the doctor going in there. I'm going to find it. We're going to pull it out. Okay, why are you hiding yourself? You're a beautiful little mystic. Companionship. The moon in, the moon in Libra. This just feels like kind of justice energy. But the moon, it's not like the sun in Libra. So it almost feels like justice reversed. So companionship. Revels in intimate union with the divine. Because you... So why you hide yourself is because you feel secure about the connection that you have between you and spirit. You feel like the connection you have between you and divinity, you and the universe, that it's fair, it's equal. You won't be taken advantage of. You won't be misled. And if you are, it's taking you towards a lesson. Whereas here, maybe with people, not so much. Just because of this is almost like the forlorn artist. Interesting. Very interesting. And the moon. Yes, you have balanced companionship and union with the divine. And even actually to maintain this too, possibly. You have some addiction here to, now an addiction is sort of like just something that we do over and over and over again to appease another part of ourselves. I mean, it's just a very vague way of quickly describing that. So there's something that you're doing here, perhaps holding back other people's feelings and emotions from you. Holding back other people's feelings and emotions from you so that you can have a clear channel between you and your divine creativity with the poet. And riches. It may have something to do with monetary success, achieving something for yourself. It kind of has a 10 of Pentacles feeling for me. I'm just getting that. I don't know if that's the right energetic placement, planetary placement with Capricorn there. How this affects your relationships with people? You definitely have things to teach people. You have wisdom. But maybe there's no emotion involved with it. Health. How this affects your relationship? The Sun in Virgo, which is really interesting because this isolation card is Saturn in Virgo. Now, that's really curious too, because we're talking about addictions. And in the Virgo reading this past week, not that, like, I'm just getting the message that I'm about to tell you. You don't have to go and watch that. It was about looking after yourself and eating healthy, moderation. It was about moderation. And even if you're like taking on more healthy ways of eating or looking after yourself, like not to even overdo that, because that's not moderate. Even something that's extremely healthy for you, if you take too much of it, it's no longer healthy. So how this affects your relationships? I feel like you bring health. You have actually quite healthy relationships. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the cards because you have healthy relationships in the way that you teach and you share knowledge with people. You know, the more I'm like, that's why I say, like, stick with me, because the more I pull these cards out, I feel more and more like this is fairly healthy. This is the only one that's a little bit odd here with the Exorcist card. Like, there's something that you need to get out of you. Because your relationships with people are pretty healthy. And so perhaps whatever you're doing, what you're hiding, like holding your emotions, holding other people's emotions at bay, it does provide you with riches, with abundance. So let's look at this advice now. The Exorcist, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. This is the advice for you. Your principles. Jupiter in Sagittarius. I want to read this. I want to read this card because this card came out, actually, it came out with the Addict card in Aquarius. Guys are crazy how you do that with so many cards. You get these interesting... Okay, Jupiter. Oh, I put my glasses away. I think I can do it. Jupiter and Sagittarius. What this is about. Planning a grand tour or world trip. Being completely immersed in a new philosophy or religion. Conversion. The need to persuade others of a philosophy. Very philosophical. Well, yeah, it's like a higher self too. Your spiritual understanding of... Now, Virgo is a very spiritual placement as well. Service to others. Service to others and teacher. When this card appears in a reading, it will raise a matter of principle or life philosophy that is particularly related to the question. I want to say the advice for you is to continue to free yourself and others of destructive impulses, because I think you already are. But there might be a shift in how and what you see as a destructive impulse. I think there might be a shift, yes, in what you see or recognize as a destructive impulse. So go with the shift. Continue to free yourself and others. Oh, free myself of wax. I don't know why the wax isn't sticking anymore. I don't know what's going on with that. Outcome if you follow the advice. Avenger. Resourcefulness. The Sun in Cancer. This reminds me of the bird that can't get to the water at the bottom of the pot, the colander, the vessel. So he goes and he finds the stones, right? And puts the stones in there until the water rises up and he can get a drink. It feels so much like that. So resourcefulness and being an avenger. Because if you follow the advice, there's a different aspect of destructive impulses around you and perhaps others. Now, I think you're to recognize it first, because the relationship you have with people is being a teacher and looking after others, offering your knowledge in terms of the things that you have learned and discovered, the skill that you have acquired. So being resourceful. Balance the scales of justice. Desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Or maybe there's someone around you. Either someone around you, or there's going to be someone around you. It could be you. Someone here is I hate the word damsel. I mean, they might not be playing as a damsel. There might just be some injustice going on, right? The avenger, balancing these scales. And you have the scales here with judge. Balancing justice and compassion. Managing the fair distribution of power. So there could be someone around you that, or yourself. I know you guys always like to see yourselves in these readings, but you might be, like, I feel like you're ahead. That's why I don't want to just come out and say it's you. I'm hesitant to do that, so I'm not going to push that narrative because it doesn't feel like it's the message. You can make it yours if you want to, but because I feel like you're ahead in seeking something here. Some sort of destructive impulse that either maybe someone around you has. Because you're, okay, whatever you're doing here, it seems to be working. It really honestly seems to be working. So that's, I think, one of the other reasons why I'm not really seeing you as the damsel and avenger. I could be avenging yourself, but I think you're seeing something ahead of time or before someone else does. And you have the capacity through kind of a resourcefulness. So using, what you have at hand and what you know, using that in a different and unique way to get the result that is required here. And it does seem to have something to do with balancing the scales of justice. Like you could even work in social work, or I don't know, or it could just be someone in your community. What is at the bottom here? Oh my, affair. Venus and Leo, that's hot. That's always like a really exciting love affair. Like with Venus and Leo, it could be a dramatic love affair. That's so interesting to get that on Valentine's Day. If that's the way you need to balance the scales of justice, Leo. Leo. Maybe there's a Leo watching. It was Venus and Leo. Might have just been a slip of the tongue, but that didn't sound right. Things are not working out for me. My words. I'm going to pull a tarot card for each one of these spots here. You are the isolated poet. It sounds so romantic. Think about it too. You think about an author or someone who's, penning a book. They're going to go. Often they'll go somewhere to get away from everything, all distractions. And in some ways, I feel like they're divinating. They're calling in things from even outside of themselves, but they have to isolate from the distractions. All right. So 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, you are. You're on the outskirts. You're on the outskirts. You're not in it. You're not in it, the physical, but you are certainly in it. The spiritual, the creative. All right, what you're hiding behind here. The Ace of Swords. Yeah, I think you're all in the light. Helps to recognize and confront addictive behavior. Yeah, you're clear about something. If you're not now, you're about to be. And I feel like it has something to do with a shifting observation and some sort of destructive impulse. And an impulse can be something that becomes addictive, right? Like you impulsively react this way, and then you just always do that. Okay, why are you hiding yourself? Because you're mystical. You're mystical, and you have a beautiful balanced relationship between you and the divine. Strength card. Yes, you get your strength from the divine. You get your strength from the universe. So in some ways, I feel like it strengthens you too to be this ousted, poetic, isolated author, artist. And you're getting your strength. You're becoming stronger to deal with things that you need to deal with. You're gaining greater control over your own impulses. So how does this affect your relationships? The teacher and health. So maybe you're a health teacher. It's funny, right? Maybe you teach health. Maybe you're a fitness trainer. You definitely see the health too is something that is opposite from unhealthy impulses or destructive impulses. The 5 of Cups. This just feels like transforming that somehow. Like nurturing, service to others. No, I can't help but feel like this 5 of Cups is someone. How does it affect your relationship? Because this feels really good. This almost feels like what you're doing. You're doing something really good for other people. But I don't know. It's almost like someone that can't be included in it with the 5 of Cups. Or maybe this is where the justice comes in. All right, advice. The 10 of Swords. Oof. You gotta bring something to an end here. Something has to come to a serious end. It's a destructive impulse. Something. I think you're gonna recognize it. If you don't recognize it, I honestly almost feel like in the next couple of days, you could be walking around and you could be thinking, oh, and you'll stop yourself. Oh, that's kind of impulsive. That seems, but maybe it's destroying some sort of potential forward, because this is telling you have to end something. There's something here that needs to come to an end. I'm going to ask a specific question over there once I pull out one more card here. The outcome, if you follow the advice, is the Avenger and resourcefulness. It's a really good outcome. The Knight of Swords. No hesitation. You will know exactly what to do. Yeah, without hesitation. And just go, 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 go. All right, I want to ask here, what is the inner demon? What is this inner demon? Really? The Lovers and the 8 of Pentacles. It could be the love that you put into something. It could be the love you have for something or someone at work. That's the inner demon. It could be even like the choices in terms of who you want to work with and how you want to work with them. I almost feel like this could be 2 sides of you. Like you could have this very poetic, artistic side of you that you work through that. You move through that when you're at home. And then there's something else here about like your work. The sun in Virgo is like service to others, teacher, 8 of Pentacles. It's almost, how do you apply? It's like bringing 2 parts of yourself together, very dualistic. Oh shit, you have the 2 of Cups and the Page of Cups at the bottom. And look at this Page of Cups, very creative. He's painted a little art piece there. It really is almost marrying 2 sides of yourself so that they can coexist in all parts of your life. What are these birds fighting again? What are you doing? They haven't fought. Wasn't it you guys that the birds were fighting? Yeah, I think. That's funny. There was one comment. Because remember how that was for you? How that came around and actually it ended up being one of your cards? Signs from nature. And I said, see, like, they could not speak to you stronger. Someone in the comments got, I guess they didn't watch it far enough. They got impatient. Said, I really don't have time for you going on your ramblings about things that distract you from reading. I don't know. You were probably the one that needed that message the most. This is really interesting. So I want to read the resourcefulness for you. I feel like I shouldn't skip that because it's part of your outcome here. And that's the Sun in Cancer. Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is about those requiring sympathy, suspicion based on previous experience, big family occasions, reunions, inheritance, paternal contact. When selected, this card suggests that family background is more than usually important. I guess that makes sense. We're talking about Cancer. Inherited family traditions contribute much to the way in which the questioner lives. Whoa. Oh, yes. Again, right? Some sort of destructive impulse, like seeing one in a new way or seeing it for the first time. And I really feel like you're going to be ahead of someone else on this. Maybe ahead of yourself even, before you start initiating some sort of destructive impulse. Because you're going to move beyond that. That's the outcome. Well, I hope this makes sense to you. It was really interesting. I'm going to go do the extended. I'm going to use tarot and oracle cards in the extended Pisces. I'm going to find out how you can improve your relationships that you have with people, what your inner child would talk to you or tell you about this this thing that you're hiding behind, and then how to release your true potential. Thank you so much, Pisces. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.